Welcome back to the Balanced Hormones Empowered Women podcast. I'm your host, Abby Vallejo, registered dietitian, certified personal trainer, and health coach. And what I do is I teach women in perimenopause how to reset their hormones, lose body fat, and get their energy back in a female specific approach that's about working smarter and not harder. So, today I want to talk about the benefits of sauna. I feel like this is something that I have almost newly discovered in the past year. It's something that I've started incorporating regularly in my lifestyle. I mean, I always knew that there were benefits to it, but it's kind of different when you start studying it and incorporating it for yourself. So, just wanted to share with you guys more about this amazing tool that I feel like is really popular in some cultures and in others is just basically kind of getting slept on. So, the history of sauna, the word sauna actually comes from Finland. And so Finland is the main place that I think of when I think of sauna. They have been using saunas for thousands of years. Um, if you think about it, it really makes sense because Finland has a cold, kind of harsh climate, and especially back in the day when they didn't have central heating and things like that, they would use the sauna for warmth and for bathing and even things like childbirth or curing meats or kind of anything. I think the sauna was just very central to Finnish culture. And so it's something that's even seen as sacred. When I was looking into the history of it, one thing that I found that I thought was super cool was that because the saunas were seen as sacred, each sauna had its own spiritual guardian. And this was basically like in the form of a little sauna elf. They called it the sauna tontu. And they believed that each sauna had one of these and that the sauna tontu or sauna elf would guard the sauna and protect it and make sure that that space was always respected. So I just think that's super cool. So many cultures, and not just Finland, but Finland's probably the most well known since we get the word sauna from Finland. But many cultures have been doing like steam baths or sweat lodges or saunas, type of variation throughout history. So this is a thing that humans have been partaking in for thousands of years, and for good reason, not just for warmth, but there's actually many, many benefits that come from doing the sauna that what we're going to talk about today, I want to share with you. Going back to Finland though, so originally these saunas would be like pits in the ground and they'd make a fire, they'd cover it with animal skins and then they'd heat some stones, pour water on the stones to get that steam. These animal skin covered pits then evolved into the wooden structures more like the ones we know today. If you've been in a sauna before, it's basically like a wooden box, right? A wooden structure that you go in. What they do is they in the Finnish ones they have a big box of stones. These stones are heated. You can even pour water over them to create some steam, or you can just do it dry with just the heated stones. And then they would take it a step further and they would get birch twigs and they would actually kind of gently whip their skin with these birch twigs to help stimulate circulation. So if you really wanted to take it to the next level, that I have not tried. I use the sauna at my local Y, so I kind of can't imagine bringing in a birch twig and like hitting myself with it. But traditionally, that's what they do to stimulate circulation. So if you want the full Finnish experience. And then they would also alternate between sauna and then cold. So maybe they'd run out and go in the snow or run out and jump in a lake and then come back in the sauna. So it's that alternation between hot and cold, which is also very beneficial for your health. So speaking of beneficial, let's get into what are the benefits of sauna other than just, relaxation because of the heat. So there's a lot of studies on sauna, especially a lot of studies coming out from Finland, of course, because they're very into sauna culture. And so, one of the main things that they show is that it helps with cardiovascular health, with heart health. Of course, saunas are going to improve blood flow and circulation and oxygenation. They also have shown that they reduce the risk of stroke and heart disease. So, when you incorporate saunas regularly, right? So, say you're using saunas regularly over a period of time, a few times a week, kind of thing. Detoxification. So saunas help with detox. We need to be able to sweat. Sweat is one of the forms that we detoxify as humans. And a lot of modern humans don't sweat very often. Think about when was the last time you sweat? Now, maybe you're going to the gym regularly. If you're listening to this, you're probably interested in health. So maybe you're sweating more than the average person. But especially those of us in northern climates, How often are we actually sweating? We should be sweating on a regular basis. The body actually pushes toxins out through the skin via the sweat. So that's a very important thing to be doing on a regular basis. It eliminates environmental toxins, even helps eliminate things like heavy metals. So if we have mercury or lead or things like that, which we are unfortunately all exposed to a certain degree, it does help detoxify. So sauna really helps with that. Of course, recovery. So, like athletic recovery, sore muscles, it helps reduce inflammation. And also post viral recovery. This is a huge one, and there's lots of good studies out there on people that have post viral syndrome, like, going back when people had long haulers, if someone's still suffering from that and they're just like fatigued and depleted and just like not better, and it's, going on for months after the infection. Regular sauna use can really help replete the body, bring the immune system back online. It helps with white blood cell production. It helps strengthen the immune system. It helps bring energy back after, if someone's been very depleted. So if low energy, which I'm going to talk more about energy as well, but if, like a post-viral situation or fatigue situation, saunas are extremely, like, probably the best, literally the best thing you can do to recover. They are just so restorative. And if you think about also what a sauna does, it also kind of mimics a fever. So think about what happens when we get a fever. We're fighting a virus, we get a fever, the body ups the temperature because it knows that the virus can't handle hotter temperatures and it sweats it out, right? And that's our natural built-in healing mechanism that we have. So we can go in a sauna and we can simulate that. So if you're looking to speed up your recovery, speed up your healing, boost your immune system in a healthy and restorative way, saunas are amazing for that. Longevity. So saunas help, of course, they help with chronic inflammation. They help with cellular repair. So heat triggers something called autophagy. Autophagy is basically the body's natural process of repairing and or recycling out damaged cells. So heat is going to trigger repair, but also sometimes cells are beyond repair, right? If you think about it, the body's always making new cells and we have cellular turnover that's happening. You don't have the same cells that you did when you were born. Your cells are, regenerating and turning over, and the old ones have to get basically recycled out, right? And this process is called autophagy, and that's how we stay healthy. And so the body needs to be able to recycle out these old and damaged cells. And so heat, being exposed to heat in a sauna, helps amplify this process so we get better autophagy. The body, it's kind of like getting more efficient at taking out the trash, right? If you think about your house, you bring in groceries, you bring in items, you bring in nutrients, you consume them, and then you have to take out the trash, you take out the recycling. And so autophagy is like taking out the waste and making sure that it gets taken out efficiently and disposed of properly. Important for maintaining health, right? um, longer, lower risk of chronic diseases like dementia, diabetes, and heart disease. So, all of these kind of diseases of aging, metabolic diseases that we see in the modern world, sauna helps reduce the risk of all of them. So, isn't that amazing? It also helps reduce free radicals. So, if you think of, we've probably heard of free radicals before. I always like to give the example of free radical damage. You can think of it like, think of rust on a car, right? That's oxidation. That also happens inside of our body. And we want to produce antioxidants and consume antioxidants that help reduce that free radical damage, which leads to inflammation and aging. And so engaging in regular sauna use actually helps reduce the amount of free radicals in the body. Isn't that amazing? Stress relief, of course. I mean, he helps with relaxation. It helps shift the nervous system, so we're not always in that fight or flight branch of the nervous system survival mode. We can switch back into rest and digest. It also helps boost mood because it's going to stimulate the release of endorphins and dopamine and serotonin, so we literally feel better with regular sauna use. And then I mentioned energy already. This is such a huge one. This is probably, I mean, all those benefits really matter, but I think in this day and age, so many people are so low energy and they're combating fatigue and just feeling sluggish, not having good levels of energy. the sauna can really help with that. So when you go in the sauna and you're exposed to heat like that, your body actually releases these heat shock proteins, and they help repair your mitochondria. So your mitochondria are your cellular powerhouses, right? They're basically like the engine. They're what produces energy inside each and every cell, and that's what produces, overall energy for the body. So you want your mitochondria to be healthy. You also don't have the same number of mitochondria if in your entire life. You have more when you're younger. You start losing mitochondria when you age. You start losing mitochondria if you lead a very sedentary, unhealthy lifestyle. But mitochondria respond really well to lifestyle changes. So there are things you can do to make sure you don't lose your mitochondria. In fact, you can actually make more of them and make them more efficient. So do you want, let's give a really simple example. Do you want 10 engines inside of a cell, or do you want 100? What do you think is going to, give you more energy? So creating more mitochondria, this is called mitochondrial biogenesis. It's basically just means your body's making actually higher number of mitochondria, and they're operating more efficiently, producing more energy. Sauna does this for you. So that's what I was saying. If you're looking for energy, if you're feeling fatigued, there are multiple things you can do, but sauna is an absolute gold standard thing to add into your routine if energy is a problem for you. So we talked about Finnish sauna. You'll also find now there's something called infrared sauna. It's the similar principle, but instead of having just heat and stones, we incorporate infrared red light into the sauna. And so the infrared light is actually it penetrates in the skin, like 1.5 inches to 2 inches actually. And so when you're using the infrared sauna, it doesn't actually get as hot because we're using the spectrum of the infrared light to actually heat up the body instead of just using ambient heat like you do in a traditional Finnish sauna. So with the Finnish sauna, it's obviously going to be hotter because you need more ambient heat to create the effect. It's usually, when I do sauna, honestly, it varies with the sauna that I use, which I said is at my local YMCA. We have a sauna, so it'll be anywhere between 160 degrees Fahrenheit and 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And I will kind of gauge my time that I'm in there based on how hot it is, because if it's like 160 degrees, now that I've been doing this kind of regularly, I could easily sit in there for 30 minutes. It's really not that hot. But if it's like 200 degrees, which is what I would say the upper limit is for most people, unless you're really an advanced sauna user, then I would say maybe 10, 15 minutes, right? Now I'm up to the point where I can probably do about 15 minutes at 200 degrees. But it is a challenge when it starts getting that hot. As far as the infrared, the temperature is going to be lower because the infrared is going to be more penetrating. You don't need as much ambient heat. So that's probably going to be somewhere between 120, 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And there with the time, anywhere between 20 and 40 minutes, what feels good for you. So in terms of how often you would use a sauna, I would say, if you're new to it, start maybe once or twice a week. Add in, it's almost like there's no upper limit to how much you can sauna. When I was looking at the studies and the benefits, there was really no upper limit. It kind of seems like the more you can get in, the better. The data that I'm kind of going off of specifically, I'm up to 3 times a week for my sauna. I started with just 1 day a week, and then I moved it to 2, then I moved it to 3 times a week. That seems to be a sweet spot for me. Also, I found a study that showed that when participants did sauna 3 times a week for 4 months consistently, they lost 4% body fat. So I was like, okay, that's awesome. So in the benefits that I mentioned, I forgot to say, it also helps burn body fat and improve your metabolism. So, and that goes along with detoxification and better energy and things like that. So 3 times a week, if you can work up to doing sauna about 2 to 3 times a week. If you're using a Finnish sauna, about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how hot it is. If you're doing an infrared sauna, about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how hot it is. And then you do that for a period of 4 months, you're going to start burning some body fat and seeing other benefits. So obviously, those benefits don't come with just a session or 2. This is something that you want to incorporate into your life on a regular basis. Anything that we do long-term consistently, right, is how we see those long-term benefits. And it's it's almost, and it's kind of like something that we do consistently, but not excessively, right? You wouldn't go into the sauna for hours. You're going to go for 15, 20, 30 minutes. That's your session, right? So where you can go and find saunas. So for me, I use it at my local YMCA. I feel like a lot of gyms are offering this, depending on where you live, what part of the country you live, and like what country you live in. Obviously, these will either be more or less accessible. I mean, apparently in Finland, there's more saunas than cars, so I think everyone there has access. I feel like northern climates, it's probably going to be easier to find. I live in Wisconsin in the northern United States, so sauna culture is kind of well known here. I feel like it's not that hard to find a sauna in gyms. Other places, warmer places, it might be. But nowadays there's a lot of options. So if you can't find a gym or a spa close enough to you that has a sauna that you can have access to, there are things that you can buy for your home even that can be comparable. So you can buy like sauna blankets. There's like little sauna tents that you can buy that you can just set up in your home and like zip them around you, seal them in to bring in the heat. A lot of those use the infrared, so you don't need as much ambient heat. You just have your body heat, then you have the infrared. And so getting something like a sauna tent or a sauna blanket, you can also get the same benefits with that. And then the other thing, even hot yoga. So I remember I was working with a client in another country who like just did not have access to sauna anywhere accessible to her. And I was like, but do you have hot yoga classes? No, it's not exactly the same, but you are going to be doing activity in heat. It's going to stimulate some of the similar benefits. So if you can't find a sauna, those are some other ways. If you can get in regular hot yoga sessions, or maybe you can buy a sauna blanket that you zip yourself into, or a sauna tent. Those are all ways that you can access all the benefits of sauna. So I just wanted to share this because I feel like this is in the general culture, overlooked, underused tool that is so simple and it's so easy. You just have to go and sit there or lay there. It doesn't involve much, and yet there are so many benefits to it. And this is something that I've been incorporating for almost 6 months now. And I am just really loving the benefits. And I am encouraging everyone I know and all my clients to see if they can find access to the sauna to get these benefits as well. So also, if low energy and fatigue are a problem that you're experiencing, these details about sauna came from one of my lessons in my course, Get Your Energy Back, where I teach you all of the things that you need to know to overcome fatigue and get your energy back and heal adrenal fatigue and replete your body. So if you are exhausted, especially if you've been trying to lose weight, you've been trying to work out and it's not working, those stubborn pounds won't come off, and you're still feeling tired and kind of nothing you're doing is working, I literally made that class for you. It's a 4-week class. You get a lesson once a week, and I'm teaching you all the things that you need to know about your energy, your adrenals, your mitochondria, and then all the practical solutions, the things that you can actually start doing today to improve your energy for good and not rely on things like coffee and sugar and energy drinks, but actually get your energy and your libido and your life back. So if you like that, if you are interested in something like that, I will link it below. Check that out because it's a really, really valuable course. I've kind of taken everything that I teach in my one-on-ones when women come in with low energy and fatigue and weight loss resistance, and basically everything that I teach them, I have packaged it into a one-stop shop course. So definitely check that out. If this episode has been helpful, please like, share, comment. That really helps the channel grow. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.